Ruth Davidson today accused Nicola Sturgeon of trying to save her own skin over the Alex Salmond inquiry as the Tory heavyweight and Scottish First Minister engaged in furious clashes.
Ms Davidson claimed there was a culture of secrets and cover-up that is only growing, and it is all taking place on Nicola Sturgeon's watch.
She asked Ms Sturgeon during First Minister's questions at Holyrood, "First Minister, is saving your own skin worth all the damage that you are doing?"
But Ms Sturgeon hit back and said it was Ms Davidson's reputation that was disintegrating before our eyes as she accused her counterpart of speaking a litany of nonsense.
The SNP leader also claimed that the reputation and the integrity of Scotland's independent justice institutions was being sacrificed on the altar of the ego of one man.
Earlier, Alex Neil, an SNP MSP and friend of Mr Salmond, had said Ms Sturgeon and other senior figures would have to step down if the former First Minister can prove he has been the victim of a stitch-up.
It comes amid a furious row over a decision to redact part of Mr Salmond's long-awaited evidence to a Holyrood committee which is conducting an inquiry into the Scottish Government's handling of accusations against him.
Mr Neil said the redacted evidence is fundamental to Mr Salmond's allegations against the Scottish Government and the people who he believes tried to do him down.
Meanwhile, Mr Neil warned a failure to put a lid on the increasingly bitter SNP civil war would harm the party's chances at May's Holyrood elections.
Ms Sturgeon yesterday accused Mr Salmond of spreading a dangerous conspiracy theory after her government censored his testimony, accusing her of lying to the Scottish Parliament.
The First Minister said her former political mentor now preferred creating an alternative reality in which the organs of the state were all part of some wild conspiracy against him.
She also denied having any influence over the Crown Office's decision to request that his statement be redacted as her government faces growing accusations of corruption. Mr Salmond has now agreed to appear before the inquiry tomorrow after pulling out of yesterday's hearing over fears that the censorship of his testimony would prevent him from accusing Ms Sturgeon of lying. Ms Sturgeon will appear next Wednesday.
Civil servants have so far refused to explain why they redacted the most explosive 474 words of Mr Salmond's testimony that could force the SNP leader to resign.
Politicians said the separation of power between prosecutors, the civil service and the SNP had become indistinguishable, and Scotland's public institutions were allowing themselves to be used for political purposes.
Meanwhile, a new poll published today suggested the SNP's bitter civil war is starting to harm the party in the eyes of voters.
The survey published by Ipsos Mori showed just over a third of Scots, 36%, say the inquiry into the Scottish Government's handling of accusations against Mr Salmond has made them less favourable towards the SNP, although 58% say it made no difference to their view.
Support for independence and Nicola Sturgeon's leadership have plummeted in Scotland in the wake of the SNP civil war over Alex Salmond, a new poll reveals today.
A majority of Scots still support breaking up the United Kingdom, but its lead fell by 4% to 52%, according to a survey by Ipsos Mori for STV. At the same time, Ms Sturgeon's personal approval rating fell by 16 points to 32%, among the ongoing turmoil involving sex abuse allegations made against her predecessor.